Welcome to the Harvesting Wisdom podcast. Together we explore the vast landscapes of life, delving into the rich soil of experiences, sowing the seeds of curiosity, and harvesting the profound wisdom that each episode unfolds. Welcome to another podcast of Harvesting Wisdom. I'm your host, Mike McMahon. Today, I have a student, Jina, from, are you from you're from Kyrgyzstan, right?
Not
Bishkek?
exactly. So I'm from South Korea, Seoul, but my
Oh,
family is partly from Kyrgyzstan. So I've visited Kyrgyzstan because my grandparents lived there for the past couple of summers.
oh, okay. So it's kind of like your ancestral home or you have family connections there. So that's
Yes.
great. Now, okay, tell me a little about yourself first. You're a student right now, and your third year in, do you call it secondary school or high school in South Korea?
Well, I attend Seoul Foreign School, so we basically operate like an American curriculum. So I'm currently a junior right now.
Okay, junior level. Okay. So, and you're in Seoul, is that where you are, or someplace else? Okay.
So
So, about 2 months ago, I went to, I guess it was October. I don't know how many months ago that was, but I went through Seoul. We spent like a week there. Then we went to Kyrgyzstan, then Kazakhstan, and then Mongolia. So we kind of toured that area. So I'm kind of familiar with what we had going on there, or what some of the stuff you've seen, I guess. But anyway, so the reason we have you on today is to tell us a little about your story. So what motivated you? You're finishing, got another year to go, or a little more to finish high school. So tell me a little about yourself. What's your motivation, and what was your motivation to make this movie?
Well, just within South Korea and throughout my other initiatives, I've really been focused on kind of encouraging and helping other leaders around the world to pursue climate activism. So, within my school, I am a part of WWF, while collaborating with the official WWF Korea and also doing various environmental initiatives like participating in the Bow Seats Future Blue Youth Council. So basically, within Bausi, it's like a group of global leaders who kind of focus on achieving sustainability through creative activism. So the element of creative activism really encouraged me to try using something novel to spotlight the issue in Kyrgyzstan itself. So I thought, since everyone is already like watching a lot of reels and watching videos all around the world, I thought using journalistic documentaries could be a way to make the issue in Altyn-Kazyk more visible and also just more impactful for people who are viewing it.
Okay, so let me ask you, tell me a little about the film itself. Did you do it yourself, or do you work with, collaborate with other people? Are your teachers involved? How long did it take? And what's the thrust of the topic?
So basically, my film is called Altyn-Kazyk, The Golden Stake, and I went there to at first volunteer and help out with the local children there because it's really a vast community that's surrounded by a huge waste mountain that burns or has all the waste from Bishkek, which is big city in Kyrgyzstan. So my grandparents are actually missionaries in Kyrgyzstan. So I've been helping out with them volunteering and also helping out with local camps at the rural college that they volunteer in. And I just heard that there was this gigantic community of like a waste mountain where everybody lives there pretty much in dire poverty and using waste sorting as a means of it's honestly their main source of income there. So I thought maybe since I already have a climate curriculum that I've created with local Kyrgyz students, I wanted to try going in there and see just what we can do to help or what we can do to kind of show their stories to the world. And so I went to Altyn-Kazyk with a group called KFHI, which is a nonprofit organization that's helped this community survive through donations and also constructing waste um, management policies and also contributing to local wealth. So I went there with some other Kyrgyz volunteers who helped translate the Kyrgyz interviews and also alongside some other Kyrgyz college students that I've worked with who helped with the camera work and such.
Okay.
But yeah, and for the
So,
editing part,
yeah,
um,
you did the editing?
yes, generally.
Okay. So how long did it take you to film and edit this whole thing? And how long is the film itself? It's a short, right?
Hmm. So the film itself is only 6 minutes long, and we honestly just went into Altyn-Kazyk about I think I'm not sure for the entire what how long we spent in there, but we went there for about a week to capture the various areas and visit the homes that we interviewed.
Okay. So I was there. Most people, I didn't really research too much, to be honest with you. I just went on that trip and we were trying to see as much as we could see, but I didn't realize that country, how gorgeous it is. It's all mountains, 90 some percent mountainous. And I think the mountains are bigger than the Rockies and the Alps combined. One of the mountains is 21,000 feet. It's got that big lake, and we went swimming in the lake when it was freezing cold. And but we checked the whole area out. The area you're talking about, how far from Bishkek is that? Because Bishkek is like the big city.
So I think it was only like 10, 15 minutes away from central Bishkek. It's about in the northern periphery of the city, I think.
Okay, so it's up into the hills or no, down below?
Um, I'm not exactly sure, but it's not very far from the mountains near Bishkek.
Okay, and how big is the community? Is it a pretty good sized community?
Yeah, it has four villages and around 16,000 people. And something really notable was that it's about eight, I'm not exactly sure, but it's mostly young children under 18 over
Wow.
there.
Okay. So what's kind of interesting is this is parallels a lot of stories in the world. In Africa, we see the same thing. First of all, there's not enough energy, right? And um, we all need energy in today's world, you know, to run a computer, to have lights, to be able to read, to do you know, all the different things we do in today's world. But the whole world doesn't have that for many different reasons. One, the energy sources just aren't there. They can't afford them, so they end up being in a position where they have to burn things. They're burning waste in this instance, so they're kind of incinerating waste. But in other parts of the country and in Africa and plenty of places in Latin America as well, and it's in Asia, they're going into the bush or the forest areas, cutting down old growth trees, and they're burning those. So they're adding to desertification, and but they need that energy source. Now, when they're in a landfill situation, it's there's some toxic elements in there, right? So it's not safe for children. And when you burn something toxic, it comes into your lungs much quicker. So what did you see? Do they have any metrics at all and to talk about health risks?
So that's honestly what I found most shocking about the area because even though they know that this pollution is harming them, and I've heard so many instances of the children there dying really early because of unspecified reasons, likely the pollution near the waste mountains. But there's no scientific metric or even government policies or health personnel there to help them out.
Right. And that, what we found, again, kind of discovering something I knew but didn't really know, is that communism ended in the like 1990 time frame, right? And since then, um, during that period, the economy was very specific. Each country produced certain things, that kind of thing, for the overall Soviet Union. Now, because it's gone capitalist, um, things are different. And some people prefer it, and some people like the old ways. But either way, um, it's only been well, whatever that is, 30 some years. So it's very, very new. This new industrialization, this new way of living is very new, and there's people that are being left behind, and that's basically what your movie's about, right?
Yes. And also just one thing that you're referring to with the globalization of these incinerator issues, it's actually part of my own neighborhood as well. And partly the reason why I went to Altyn-Kazyk in the first place was because my own home is basically right next to what used to be Seoul's largest waste mountain.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, right now they even still have an incinerator just like right out there, 2 minutes from my house, and it's basically burning almost half of Seoul City's waste.
Interesting because, in that's it's one of the forms of waste minimization. I mean, obviously, recycling, reusing, repurposing, and then of course reducing the amount of waste we have and using it for other things is the preferable method. But we definitely don't want a landfill the size of a mountain. So a lot of companies have gone to incineration, and I'm sure the incineration process in Seoul is considerably more sophisticated. They probably have more cleaners. I don't know this. I'm just guessing because I did go to Seoul, and what an amazing city. I mean, the place is gorgeous, and it was way better than my expectations. But so they picked that method, but all landfilling and incineration doesn't make sense on a sustainable scale, right? Worldwide. We know that. We need to be able to use the waste for other things. So let me just get, because I know you're a little pressed for time too. It's a 6 minute movie. We've had some submissions that are not even a minute long and they were impactful. So length doesn't necessarily mean much, but we've gone through almost 200 movies, the film people who are watching the films, the selection committee. Why should I watch your film? I guess that would be the big thing. What's going to make it? Is it a fun film? Is it a sad film? Is it a tell me just tell me what would be the motivating factor to watch it?
Well, I think the motivating factor to watch my film is really the reason that when I made this film, it shocked me the most. Because when you think of a community that's next to a ginormous waste mountain and somewhere that's bearing the brunt of pollution, you'd think it would be maybe the most depressing community that you might have thought of. But shockingly enough, the people there were more hopeful than anyone I've really seen around in Seoul, even. Because even though they're living off of even below the minimum wage and basically breathing in the smoke of incineration every single day, they just have this sort of happiness and dignity in whatever they do because they just really believe that even though their work today, which is picking up waste and just going through every day, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the waste mountain, even at night, they just have the hope to continue forward and believing really that the work they do there is important and that whatever they do, it will really propel them to a future where they can be more, where the community they are in right now, the community that is currently being neglected, can um, be recognized and uplifted someday. And that's really the core message of my film because it's called The Golden Stake, right? So Altyn-Kazyk in Kyrgyz translates to Polaris, which is the North Star. And this is the name that the first founders of this community gave to their place because as nomadic people, they think that they really prioritize the North Star as something that's guiding them throughout their nomadic journeys.
Sure.
And according to one of the interviews, they really wanted this community to be somewhere that can guide anyone who is lost and ends up in this community. So
Yeah.
I think that hope is really the message here.
Yeah, the North Star in North America, and then it's the Southern Cross in the Southern Hemisphere. I should have said Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere. But it again, it parallels a city that we work in is Lukuni, Malawi, which is the poorest. I guess Malawi is considered one of the poorest countries on the planet. But when you go there, the people are have this amazing dignity, smile on their face. They welcome you. They say hello. And, we're in the US, we're very jaded. We complain if our coffee is not warm, or whatever. We complain about everything, and we're grumpy, and we seem to alienate each other. And then you go to a place like this, and you get a true sense of community. So to me, it's you're right. It's a sense of hope, but it also shows how humans, when they collaborate, can survive and have more resilience. So there's lessons that we learned watching these people, probably more so than they would watching us, because the waste pile that you're looking at is part of an industrial process that we're certainly maybe the leaders of that process that are creating some of these issues, So, but that's great. So let me just ask, and I'll ask. I promise to get you out of here quick. So this last one is okay. You've got a year to go. Now you're going to be a published filmmaker and podcaster. So what's in store for you? You're finishing up next year. I got to tell you, it's way too early for you to tell, but do you have any kind of career path defined for yourself?
I'm not too sure exactly, but I think I would still really want to pursue something related to sustainability because that's really what I've always been doing. Whether it's in like sustainable economics, which I've really been a part of, or just sustainable journalism, or even focusing on policy making. So I think whatever I do, I would want to focus on um using policy to try to make the path towards sustainability a little bit more tangible and grounded.
Okay. Well, great. That's you got plenty of time. Have you started looking at schools? Are you going to stay in Korea? We interviewed a teacher over in Bishkek, by the way, at the University of Bishkek. A great guy, an agriculture, one of the heads of the agriculture department. Really bright guy. So the world's your oyster. What are you thinking? Do you want to stay there or go international? What's your thought for college?
Well, I did used to live in the Netherlands and in the US.
Okay.
So, I think education-wise, I think I'm probably going to head to the US for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully there's schools watching right now and you can they'll see this and you'll have a maybe help you get into one of the schools of choice. So, well, I wish you all the luck in the world, and we'll stay in touch with you. Send you a copy of this, of course, and you can take excerpts and put it on social media and keep a copy of this. But in addition to that, we'll let you know the Skyfire Film Festival will start the 27, 28, 29, I think, of March. And we might extend that another day because we're getting so many entries and so many venues being offered us. So this thing's kind of blowing up. We expect it to be a pretty good size. And by the way, ASU right here, they're part of Skyfire, and
Mhm.
they're number one in the world in innovation. So and sustainability. So you never know. You may end up your path may end up crossing with Tempe and Phoenix and Mesa and Arizona at some point in the future. But we'll stay in touch with you. I appreciate your time today, and good luck to you. For those watching, please support Gina and hopefully come down and watch this film and come to Skyfire. And please like us and subscribe to the Harvesting Wisdom podcast as well. And wish everybody a good night. Thanks, Gina.
Thank you.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you for joining the Harvesting Wisdom podcast. Click subscribe and like for ongoing insightful conversations. Explore our webpage for show notes and additional resources. Visit our guests' webpage for deeper insights. Your engagement is the foundation of our journey, and until next time, keep pursuing wisdom.